Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And folks, we got a great show for y'all today, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So yesterday was a big night in La La Land. And the reason it was a big night was because the Lakers were going to be unveiling the new statue of Pat Riley, who won championships with the team as a coach. He also won championships with the Miami Heat as a coach and as an executive. So he's one of the most important figures in NBA history when we're talking about people that really contributed to the NBA that we know today. He's right up there with Jerry West and Phil Jackson and so many others, right? So one would have thought that, oh, the Lakers would go out there and put on a good show. And if you thought that, you would have thought wrong, because in typical Laker fashion, they went out there and embarrassed themselves. Not only did they embarrass themselves to the Boston Celtics, who were without Jason Tatum, but the Lakers, who had, let me go through the roster, LeBron James, Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, Jake LaRavia, Jackson Hayes only played 5 minutes. You had Luke Kennard, Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, and the entire roster, basically, with the exception of Bronny James, right? So given the fact that the Lakers were pretty much at full health, you would have thought that they would have shown some Laker pride and go out there and try to put up a competitive game, and the Lakers did the total opposite, and they got their asses just absolutely handed to them. And one of the players that played horribly for the Lakers, although there are many, is LeBron James. I want to talk about LeBron for a second here. LeBron played that game in 35 minutes. Who played the most minutes in the game was a negative 14 in plus minus, had 20 points on 43% shooting from the field, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 turnover. And you're looking at that like, well, he played a decent game if you're looking at the stats. Yeah, but the problem is his stats are leading to nothing. They're leading to absolutely nothing. And just when you thought this guy would actually try to show a little bit of responsibility in a post-game conference, the guy didn't even mention himself. And we want to play some of the sound of what LeBron had to say during the post-game. Before we even get into what he had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy app where you pick more or less on player stat projections. And if you get your pick right, you could cash in. Right now, they're giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. For example, this week I'm picking Victor Wembanyama for 35 points, and I'm also picking Stephen Curry to hit 4 threes. It's always very exciting and gets me all more amped watching the game. Make sure to check if Prize Picks is available in your state today. It probably is. They are available in 50 states. They also just dropped early payouts, so if your player gets off to a hot start, you can cash out before the game even finishes. Pick from all your favorite sports, anything from basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. And with the new social feeds feature, you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups from winners with a single click. Copy lineups you like or use them as inspiration for your own picks. Download the Prize Picks apps today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks is good to be right. All right, so what we want to do now is I want to play what LeBron had to say. I want you guys to listen to his post-game analysis, and we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to LeBron here.
And he felt defensively, you guys did some really good things to begin that game and possibly win that game. Only turned the ball over 8 times, but just offensively, never seemed to find that rhythm. Only shot 39%. What did you kind of see on that end of the floor? Maybe you guys could have been better.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I mean, we had some really good looks. I think they had a good game playing defensively. Forcing us to take some shots. I thought, listen, sometimes you got to make shots, and they made timely shots, and we didn't give ourselves a good chance on offensive end. I think defensively, we held serve as long as we could, but offensively, we didn't give ourselves a good chance.
Kind of led me to my next thing. It just felt like so much of that second half, you're 8 down, you're 9 down, 11 down. We're always used to seeing you get that run.
Yeah.
Is that just part of it, just not hitting?
Yeah, we never hit that run. We never hit that run. We never made that one shot where it felt like, this is the time. When we got down 6 or whatever, they found a way to make a shot or found a way to get fouled, and kind of changed the momentum, changed the rhythm again. So.
Were you able to peek your head out during Riles' celebration?
Yeah, absolutely. I got out there for a little bit, sat on the bench during halftime before our meeting. And, I mean, listen, one of the all-time greats to ever been a part of this league. Not only player, coach, executive, front office, everything. Obviously, what he did here for the Lakers organization in the 80s goes without saying, and rightfully so. You know, him having a statue outside his building. You know, obviously, I spent 4 years with him. Got the utmost respect for him, for his family and everything, so it's pretty cool.
Pat said he wishes you nothing but the best, but he does selfishly wonder what could have been if you were in Miami another 4 or 6 seasons. Do you ever, now that you have that time past 12 years since you played for the Heat, have you looked back at what maybe could have been, or like, are you fully think it was the right decision to go there 4 years, 2 championships, 4 trips to the finals, and go to the next stage?
I never said I'm going to go there 4 years and decide to go that's just how the cards was played, but yeah, it's human nature to look back and say, okay, what could have been? But you know, that's part of life. You know, I thought the 4 years that we had was great. Obviously, we was able to pick up 2 chips. We lost 2 of them, unfortunately, but a lot of great memories, a lot of great time there, and it would have been interesting to see what could have happened. I also would have never gave myself. What was that at the end of 7, 11? I wouldn't have gave myself another 12 years to be playing this game either.
Excellent. So you heard what he had to say. Look, guys, the Lakers have a problem. If this is not enough evidence that the Lakers should move on from this guy, I don't know what is. There's been talks about, LeBron needs to, he could come back next year, even on a minimum contract. The problem is not even the money at this point, right? Forget the fact that it makes no sense to pay a 42-year-old max dollars. Forget about that for a second. Just ask yourself from a basketball standpoint, does it make any sense for this guy to return? Because if he does return, he's going to be a starter because he's not coming off the bench, which means that you're going to be giving him starter minutes. Bro, LeBron's plus minus on the season is negative. His cumulative plus minus, he's not adding anything. Let's get to the next players on this roster. Luka Doncic. I have a hot take for you guys. Some of y'all may think it's a hot take. I think it's a hot take. Luka will not be a Laker in the next 5 years. Luka Doncic will not be a Los Angeles Laker in the next 5 years. I'm noticing that Luka, man, beyond the fact that, you want to build a good team around him, if you build the right team around him, he can do well. Beyond the fact that him and Reeves are doing well, there's something about Luka that annoys me. And the thing with Luka that annoys me is that he complains too much. And the complaining speaks to a mindset. He can't get over things when he plays basketball. And he can't, and I've seen him so many times lose his focus. And I've also noticed that Luka uses non-foul calls, like when he doesn't get a foul, as a way to not play defense. I've noticed that. He's always ready to cry about a call, but then when he doesn't get the call, he uses it as an excuse to not get back on defense. After if he's sitting on the floor. You saw occasions of that last night when instead of Luka getting back on defense, he's on the floor complaining. Gives up an easy bat. That's Luka Doncic for you. That's not going to win in LA. I don't think Luka's going to last 5 years as a Laker. I don't think so. I think they're ultimately going to trade him. And you know who I think is going to trade him? Mark Walters. I think they're going to trade Luka Doncic in the future. He scores a lot, but you got to be more than just a scorer. He makes a lot, but you got to be more than that to be a Laker. I'm a Kobe Bryant fan, bro. I know the caliber of player it takes to lead that organization, and this ain't it. Luka doesn't inspire you on both sides of the floor. He needs to show more competitive fire. You can't just be competitive on offense, man. You got to give it on both sides. You got to try to lead by example here. Right? Like, I'm not seeing it from him. Now, some of y'all, man, this is a hot take. Let's see how they play. I get all of that, man. I get all of that. But at a certain point, man, you got to show some grit on the other side of the floor. A little bit of it. He doesn't. All he does is complain when he misses shots and foul baits. He plays for fouls. And what happens when you get to the playoffs when the referees swallow the whistle more? What are you going to do then when they're not calling every ticky-tack foul? What are you going to do then? I don't know. It's just a sentiment that I get. In terms of LeBron, man, this guy, he's getting stats, but they have zero impact on winning. It's clear now. He scored 21 last night, but it doesn't matter. right? They're not a good defensive team, and I think the Lakers really need to figure it out. And my hope is that the new ownership group is going to be a more serious one than the one that the Lakers currently have or have had in the past. But these are just my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comments section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.